Hi, welcome to Out and About with Tom and Sherry. I'm Tom.
Hi, I'm Sherry. Thanks for joining us. This is our next video in our long series of videos for our Grand Mediterranean tour, which was in May of 2025. And this is Rhodes, Greece,
Yep.
which was on our first cruise. We went on two cruises. Our first cruise on the Norwegian Viva. So, like we did our last video, we're going to watch the video at the same time you're watching the video um,
Comment.
and comment, share our experience, what we thought of Rhodes. We both really liked Rhodes.
Yep.
Yeah, but we'll go ahead and get started unless there's anything else.
I think I think my summary of Rhodes. Every place we went, I always come up with a summary. Rhodes was medieval.
That is true.
It was like a giant castle.
Yep, it was. Yep, it was really neat. So we'll go ahead and get started. So thanks for joining us. We hope you enjoy the video.
At the port in Rhodes. This is from deck 8 on Viva, and you can see on the left side of the picture that's the road that kind of goes along the outside of the wall into the city. So the whole city there was the old part of Rhodes was a walled city, which was neat.
Yeah, and you'll see here in these videos coming up. But yeah, it was just, I mean, and this is a great, you just pull up to the port and you walk right off. So that worked out really well
Walk,
in doing that. So
walk right off and walk right into town, if you will. It was what, maybe, I don't even think it was a half a mile.
no. So this is where the buses pick you up if you're on an excursion. It's just right below the ship where you're docked. So it was super easy to do that. But we walked into town, so and it was a really short little walk.
Yep.
You just walk right off. And just a little closer up view of this is where the medieval walls just start right there,
Right there.
right when you get off the ship, and you can see all of that, and it kind of wraps around. You can see that over to the right hand side where the little harbor was at. There were some great boats. I think we got a close up of some of the boats.
There's some neat boats in the harbor.
Some yachts. But there you see the castle. This is the knight's castle within the walled city, which was we did not actually go into the castle, but we walked around it. So those are coming up. So that was really neat.
Yep.
And just a close up there of the castle. And again, we're still on the ship, and you just, I mean, there's these ruins here that they're working on and doing restoration and whatnot. The little turret building there, or structure there. So, and then obviously you can see there's some other ships, some more of these sailing ship cruises that were there when we
Yep.
were there. And this is just that harbor again. The walled part is just that whole area right there that you can see. So, just a neat little shot. So we're on the opposite side now of the harbor area, and we're looking back at our ship, the Norwegian Viva.
Off in the distance.
And the water there was just gorgeous. And there's a
Yeah.
little beach there. You can kind of see that in the photo there over on the right hand side. Tiny little beach area that you could sit there. There were a few people sitting there.
There's a few people on that beach. I didn't see anybody actually swimming, but there's an area just to sit and relax.
And a close up of our ship.
And some of these yachts, there were some pretty magnificent yachts. And one thing I noticed with these yachts, you can see the gangplanks that go off over to the dock, and they were motorized, and the gangplank would just extend out the back of the yacht, which was kind of interesting.
That must be an add on that probably don't come with the ship.
Yeah. And I liked this boat. I mean, this is more of a I don't know. This is like a working man's boat, and obviously there was a story. Something happened there, but I would have
Some are
loved to
bare.
know the story.
Oh yeah, yeah, with the incident at the front.
The incident at the front, and then there was some damage farther back. So, but it was still floating. But here you can see how crystal clear the water is.
Yeah.
It was-
And you just walk around there and you're right there at the there's a couple different gates. So this is the famous Sea Gate from 1478. So we're medieval history here
Yep.
in these. So that's that gate there. But like I say, I think there were 3 different gates at that one area that you could enter in
Yep.
to walk through. We didn't walk through this one. We went a little farther because we were wanting to get over to the castle area.
And here's another one of the gates.
This is the gate we came out of, so we'll see this again in the video coming up.
Yep. From the other side.
From the other side, yes. And just on our way over to the castle area, just some street art. There's lots of vendors on the street, different things, but
And it took me a minute to realize what this was, but this was like a little painting mosaic display with the painting tools set into the concrete and the palette. And it was just neat. It was just, well, I like public art, and it was just neat to look at.
And from there, we started to get closer to the castle. And like I say, as you're walking and you see the walls area, I mean, it's just all these little alcoves and, like I say, turrets and I can't recall what the slashes are in the higher structures that they could shoot the arrows through. Forget what those were called. But yeah, you just kind of see this stuff walking as you go by, with vendors right across the street selling their stuff. We're making our way through.
Making our way through another one of the gates. I don't know. I think I say this on every video, but you wonder what life was like then. And this was the way we chose to walk in there. It's my understanding this was an old moat, and you just kind of walk up the old moat, and it's obviously dry now and vegetated. But the feel of the walls of the moat towering up on either side of you was just neat.
Yeah, and this is the castle side, and you'll see in a couple of the other photos, you'll see the opposite side of the moat area. It's more of an angled shot that went all the way around. You'll see that. But we put some information on here just about the various components of the architecture and the structure, and some of it comes down and then they add to it and rebuild it. So just a couple different highlights of that for that grand palace, or the Grand Master's palace. We called it a castle, but it was the Grand Master palace.
If it looks like a castle and
Yeah.
walks like a castle.
And just a different angle there as we were walking through. So here we're in the moat area.
Here, yep, this
Yeah.
is the moat.
So the palace is on the left, and the moat barrier wall is on the right. The whole time you're walking through this area.
And I like that old cannon just lying there. I pointed out to Sherry that they're pretty trusting people in Rhodes, that they just leave cannons like that lying out, and nobody just walks up and takes them, walks off with them.
It'd be hard to get that on the cruise ship.
That's probably it. But then I like the stone cannonballs. I think those were added later, but they added ambiance. And I love this tree. This was just a neat tree.
And the interesting thing, when you were walking through it, you didn't hear it at first, but as farther along as you got, you started to hear music, French music that they were playing up above. I don't think it was on the palace side. I think it was on the vendor, shop side.
The shop side, yeah.
Over on that right-hand side, but you could hear it playing as you were kind of walking through here real faintly. So it kind of added a little atmosphere. I thought it was neat too, the mix of the pine and the palm trees, and just a neat.
And the vines growing down the walls and plants growing out of the walls. Yeah.
And you can kind of see, I'm not by any means an expert on architecture, but you can see the different styles here. You know, it talked about the Byzantine was the first architectural design, and you can kind of see a little bit. Kind of made me think of, like Istanbul, some of the architecture that you see there. So you can see different influences through the architecture as it was constructed at different times.
But I just really enjoyed this image on the wall. You know, the carved crosses on the wall, and then the wildflowers growing out of the wall. It was just neat. I know I say just neat a lot. I don't know what other word to come up with. Delightful.
Nice shot there, I thought, where you get the windows and just the vantage point of looking up and imagining what could have gone on there.
Yeah, yeah. This shot, you really get that sense of scale. And Sherry, I've said this in other videos too, but Sherry's kind of the more academic one when it comes to history and architecture and stuff. And I just like to be in the places. And walking through this moat, there was just this energy there and just this sense of place that there was a lot that had gone on there over the centuries.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I like the little doorways in the walls way up high.
Well, and so much I think it adds to it. I mean, obviously it is old, but where you can see the greenery and things kind of coming through the stone, and it just kind of adds that ruin type feel to it, I think. And we were able to walk across that little that bridge there. But again, we're walking in the moat, right? So this is the water would have been going underneath that bridge that we're now walking under. So kind of remind yourself as you're walking through these spaces that people didn't walk here. There was water here. And this gives you how wide of an expanse it was.
Yep. And something I thought about in here was just the mature trees. The water had been out of the moat for a long time, and there was, fully mature trees in there.
Well, yeah, 1400s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a whole different place now.
It would be interesting to know when the moat part went away.
It would be.
Yeah,
it would
have
be
been interesting to know.
That'd be neat to know.
Probably look that up somewhere.
And another little tunnel. We walked through that tunnel.
And so now we're kind of going up to get to the palace level walking area. And you can tour this palace. We chose not to do that. There's apparently quite a lot of steps, as you might imagine, inside. And my knees were giving me a hard time. I think we mentioned in one of our other videos. Walking on cobblestone is very authentic feeling, and you kind of go, oh, this is great. But after about an hour or two of doing that, your knees, your back, your hip, everything hurts. So we had been doing a lot of walking before we got to Rhodes. So I had kind of had my knees had kind of had their fill. So that's why we chose not to go in. I would like to have seen it, but I don't think I could have done all the steps.
And for me, there was plenty to see without going inside the castle.
Yeah, I would agree.
It was.
Yeah, you still got the feel and whatnot. And Tom, being civil engineer, always likes to get photos of.
I always take photos of the water meters. And one thing you can tell with a whole lot of confidence with this water meter is it doesn't freeze very often in Rhodes grease. So
just out in the open.
Just out in the open.
Just, really neat shots everywhere you turn, kind of a thing. So you're just trying to capture that feeling as you're kind of walking around.
Would you use the term magical to describe it? I'm not sure magical.
Nah, I don't know if I would say magical.
Medieval, definitely.
Felt very authentic, kind of a.
Authentic is a good word to describe it.
As you were walking around.
And formidable.
Yeah, here's the cannon. So
Here's the
again,
cannon
going on the
sticking.
tour, you're going to get the backstory of all this stuff that we're looking at. I'm sure there's quite a story. We should probably look and see if somebody put a video of the tour. I don't know.
Yep. And back to that previous picture, I really enjoyed that carving up above the cannon. It was just this intricate, detailed carving, which is neat. And there's another carving near a cannon. And that same style of carving up above.
So this is walking over part of that bridge, and this area. I mean, again, sometimes you just don't notice little things, and this just kind of caught my eye
Yep.
with the Arabic writing, I suppose, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I wondered what it said. And I tried Google Translate and
No luck.
no luck.
Mhm. So a lot to see. So if you go, keep your eyes open. So this particular, this was really neat. We were just walking through, headed over to walk on that bridge, and there was this guy here, just playing this music, which just added so much ambiance to the space you were in, and a lot of people stop and listen to him, and obviously he has hat there for coins and whatnot.
For coins, yeah. But just the acoustics in that space
Yeah, that's true.
was neat. But he added a lot of ambiance.
So the again, the space is we passed that guy, so we're going out to walk across that bridge, and like I say, there's just different components of this space that you're in, of these, you know, old remnants. So here's an iron
Riveted iron doors.
So just kind of neat.
And here's the top of that bridge from that earlier photo. And the statue up there.
Yeah, and so this is after you kind of walk in that upper area there, then you walk through this little gate, and you're now in the shops, restaurant area. Lots of restaurants, lots of shops, but it felt different to me than the other places. It just felt very connected to the space that it was in. It felt like granted they're all current day, right? But you could imagine walking through this space with there being tradesmen and um, people serving up things during the Middle Ages.
And they've been doing that for centuries there.
Yeah.
The products may have changed somewhat, but there's still, you walk through these areas and there's still tradesmen and
right, and the churches. So there's a mix of churches too, right? So there was a couple mosques, little mosques,
small mosques
in the area. And we tried to, this one I believe was part of the palace. Towards the end of the palace, you could go up in. But there were some smaller churches too that we walked through, and more cats. Cats in Rhodes. Tons of cats in Rhodes.
Yep.
We were having lunch. There were cats all over the place.
Yep.
So, but I kind of caught the cat, but I was trying to also just get all of this stonework where people are doing these decorative components to the walkways and everything. Again, just adding a lot to the space you were in. And here's a different design.
Yeah.
I would like to watch somebody do that. So here's one of the mosques, and the mosques were not open. The two that we looked at were not open. But again, just indicating the different times at which different nationalities were in this area.
Yep.
So, and Tom found a knight.
A knight in shining armor. And then that statue.
Of course. So here's, like I say, just try to picture this in medieval times. Granted, it wouldn't look like this, but you can get the sense of how, again, tradesmen and whatnot would have all been lined in these spaces.
And I wonder if you changed the clothing on the people and changed the signs, I wonder, aside from that, how much has really changed
Yeah.
over the
Yeah,
centuries.
yeah. But I mean, even for today, I mean, there were jewelry shops, and I mean, there was quite a lot of different shops,
Yep.
which I liked more. We didn't weren't shopping while we were on the trip, but compared to the other places, Santorini, we had been to already, uh, this had so much more diversity of shopping.
Yep.
Yeah, and you
Yep.
really, it just had a different feel to it, I thought.
Yeah.
And we stopped for lunch. Not the best picture of me. I don't take the best pictures anyways, but we stopped at this little Greek place for it was a
For
Greek
lunch.
restaurant that we stopped at for lunch, and there were cats all over this wall. They were all over the place.
But they weren't bothersome.
No, no, no.
They-
They were just off on their
They
own.
were just off doing their own thing, and
Yeah.
some people tossed them a little food or a little scrap, but the cats were just doing their own thing. The food was outstanding. It was a mom and pop restaurant, and you walk down these walkways and you just kind of, oh, this one looks good, and we go in there.
Yeah. So this was Greek salad, and what was that? What was it? Was some kind of a,
It was kind of a shepherd's
I
pie
was going to say some kind
type
of a
thing.
meat type
Meat pie, yeah.
vegetables and stuff. It was good though.
It was good, yeah.
Yeah. I don't remember what you got. We didn't get a picture of
I
that.
don't remember, yeah.
But again, here's one of those views of just, these alleyways and cobblestone walkways and everything, just all along the way there that you're in this area. So this is that main square area. Like I say, you have these various corridors you can walk through and walk down and whatnot. But this is kind of the center square that was there, and tons of restaurants that you could sit there and watch people go by. The place
Yeah.
we went to was kind of off on its own, so we didn't have a lot of that pedestrian traffic.
Yeah.
But if you like the people watching, you certainly could find it in this square area
Yep.
amongst the palace and
Yeah.
churches and everything else. Just more of that same area, just a different view off to the side.
And this building was neat. I mean, that's been in the last few pictures as we get closer. But it was just a neat building, and I think the next picture shows the arches in there, which
Yeah. You're
You-
like, wow.
you just wonder what has gone on in that space. It's those arches are the same as arches you see in the old medieval churches and stuff, but just breathtaking.
Mm-hmm. Just a different view of that. So.
Different view, different angle.
So we're kind of making our way back to the ship at this point. So this is towards one of the entries, the Church of the Virgin Mary of the Burn, 14th century. And I'm surprised that I actually got this shot because there were tons of people.
Yep.
Tons of people. So I was like, ooh, I got lucky
Yep.
there.
But it took me a while to realize with this church, the walls were gone and the roof was gone, and this was what was left of the church.
Mm-hmm. The interior.
The interior. This used to be a building, and now it's just the end wall, and
yeah,
both walls were still there. The wall that's behind us in this picture was there too.
Yeah. And at one time there were columns. You can see the base of these columns that were there inside. So you're trying to imagine somewhat of a cathedral style, right, with your columns in there, and then the main altar area.
So then here's that backside was behind us in the other pictures.
It was a neat space. People just kind of hung out there, and there was an ice cream shop right across the way, and so people were getting ice cream and coming back over and sitting here. It was just a nice place to sit, shaded spots. It was a very popular area.
And there's Sherry.
There I am. And so you can see this exit gate, entry exit gate, behind me, obviously, which was a neat view too, with the top of the wall and then this blue bay
Ocean.
cave cove area.
Yep.
Yeah, just and there were restaurants in this area, so again, a very popular place that people were enjoying spending time there. So we are back out.
Yep.
And-
Back out, headed back toward the ship. Those people are kind of standing on that seawall with the little beach area in front of them.
Yeah, it's like a boardwalk area that you walk along.
Yeah.
When you from the port over to the town there. And so here's that little beach area you can see there. So like you say, we didn't see anybody get in the water.
No.
But just a really pretty view.
Yep.
With the fancy yachts and I don't know, I think if there's a sculpture of some dolphins, copper sculpture.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know, I think we may just have like a glimpse of it here in the next, yeah.
There they are.
So over to the right there, you see the dolphins on top of that rock area. So that was quite everybody wanted a picture there, of course. And I don't know, these are volcanic rock, I would imagine, right? It looks kind of pumicey.
Volcanic rock, or maybe I kind of wondered if it was a coral.
Oh. So you can kind of see that boardwalk area to the left there that we walked. So we went from the ship, walked along there, over past these yachts into that entrance area by the palace.
Yep.
Is kind of what we did. So just really pretty shots there. It was a really nice day, thankfully.
It was a great day.
And these are just getting back to the ship. I wondered if this was kind of one of those windmill type places at one point. You know, I don't know.
Yeah, I wondered what it. Yeah, it just seemed kind of. You wonder what it was there for.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a guard tower or something. I bet you're right. I bet it was a windmill.
Maybe a windmill type thing at one point. And this is right at the exit there, entry exit of the port.
Yep. Yep.
So
directly behind us is the dock.
Yeah. So it's just all around you, all the remnants of this town, and what it was over the centuries, right?
Yep.
And so they're back to the ship
Back
view.
on the ship.
Yeah.
Yep.
From the deck 8 on the Viva. So it was just a really nice, peaceful, easy on and off.
Yep.
There really wasn't even any ID check or anything. I think
No, there
I
wasn't.
don't remember showing anything.
There wasn't. There was, no place where they checked your. I mean, getting back on the ship, obviously.
Yeah, but in Rhodes there wasn't.
Yeah, there was no place to.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Where they checked. But overall, I think Rhodes was just quiet, low key.
Yeah.
Neat place to be.
Yeah, and when you're on, I think when you're on a multi-stopping cruise, Mediterranean, which is, every day, you don't have sea days in there. It's nice to kind of have a port that's very easy to get on and off, kind of relaxing. We didn't feel we weren't pressured for time or anything like that, since we didn't do any excursions. So it was just nice to go into the town and just kind of get that feel of that medieval space.
Yep.
Enjoyed a good lunch.
The word unpretentious comes to my mind.
Yeah, just very easygoing. And you knew you were in a very historic area. And now, granted, there's a lot of excursions you can do in Rhodes too, but we chose to do it as more of a relaxing day for us, and just walk through and enjoy the afternoon. And I don't know, we were probably off for what, maybe 4 hours or so?
4 or 5 hours. Yeah.
Something like that. So, and since you're so close, you just, you walk have your lunch, whatever, walk back over.
Yep.
And I'm sure there's plenty of taxis and stuff that could drive you around if you wanted to do
If you
something
wanted,
on
yeah.
your own.
But it wasn't, some of the other places you get off the ship and there's all these taxi drivers really hustling, trying to get you in their taxi. Rhodes wasn't like that.
No.
It was just real low key. Yeah, there was taxis there. You can see them in the photo, those white cars. But they didn't try to get you into their car or sell you a tour or anything.
And the shops weren't like that either.
That's true.
And maybe
That's
that's why I kind of like that space a little bit more. They weren't trying to hassle you to come into their shop or anything. It just lots of jewelry too. So that was nice to see. But yeah, I don't recall anybody trying to grab you to come in. Yeah. So that's a nice change too. So anyway, so we really enjoyed Rhodes. Again, it was a relaxing day for us. We enjoyed it.
Yep.
Felt very historic in the area that you were in, and just a good day.
Just kind of connected.
And our ship left. We didn't get any pictures at night, but our ship left. I want to say like 9:30 or so, 9.
Yeah.
Something like that. So then you got the lights of the city too, and you could kind of see I don't know. It just made the walls of the city stand out a little bit more from what I remember. But we didn't get a shot for some reason. But lots of the cars coming and going. So even just sitting out on deck 8, I think you'll enjoy Rhodes, whether you take an excursion or just decide to do it on your own. It just was really nice.
Yep. So thanks for watching. And if you like the video, be sure and hit like and subscribe if you want to see more. And
yeah, we appreciate you watching. And our next one, I think we may be ready to do Istanbul. Ooh. Because again, we're doing this is our Viva.
Our Viva cruise.
Yeah. Now our second cruise was on the Norwegian Epic. We went to more places in Greece. So we'll probably pick those up coming down. But all right. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching.
Bye-bye.
Ciao. Oh, we don't know how to say goodbye. We tried saying goodbye in Greek on that other one. Yeah, it was. Ciao. We should have asked Nora.
Oh.
We should have asked Nora how you say goodbye in Greek.
Where the buses are to pick you up.
Yep.
I'll start that over. Can't yawn in the video, honey.
Okay. Well, you could say I tried to yawn quietly.
Yes, you could, honey. They're watching. We're doing the video.
Oh, we're going to have it up in the corner. Oh, the new format. Okay, sorry. I'll move my beverage then.